a powerful volcanic eruption with a towering dark ash cloud dominating the sky. The foreground shows a desolate, cracked desert landscape under a dramatic blue sky. The ash cloud billows intensely, suggesting immense power and a sudden, violent awakening. This wasn't merely a tremor, it was a behemoth stretching after a 12 millennia slumber. A colossal ash cloud tore into the stratosphere, towering over cruising jets. Over 150 kilotons of sulfur dioxide choked the skies, marking a geological awakening unlike anything witnessed in millennia. But this reawakening wasn't contained. From its fiery birth in Hayli Gubbi, Ethiopia, the monstrous plume began its relentless march. It swept eastward across the Red Sea, cloaking Yemen and Oman, its tendrils reaching far into the Arabian Sea, towards Pakistan and India. The sky, once a highway for international travel, began to choke. Dozens of flights were suddenly grounded, their routes painted red on air traffic control screens. A global airspace, ensnared by the volcanic wrath, spiraled into an unprecedented crisis, stranding thousands. But far from the grounded planes, a different terror unfolded. In places like Afdera, the earth itself roared. I heard an explosive sound accompanied by what felt like a shockwave, recounts Ahmed Abdallah, a local resident, before ash began falling across nearby communities. This ash wasn't just a nuisance, it was a death sentence for livelihoods. Grazing lands and vital water sources were quickly contaminated. For pastoralist families, dependent on livestock, it foreshadowed a slow-burn economic crisis as their animals struggled to find sustenance. But the true genesis of their plight began much earlier. 10 months before the ash choked the skies, the ground itself began to betray them. A relentless surge of seismic activity, hundreds of tremors reaching 5.7 magnitude, tore through the earth, foreshadowing a greater catastrophe. This seismic unrest wasn't merely a warning, it imperiled Ethiopia's very lifelines. The critical Ethiopia-Djibouti Railway, a vital trade artery, and the Kesam or Sabur Dam, essential for water and power, lay directly in the path of destruction. Volcanic mudflows further threatened to sever crucial roads. With 90,000 lives immediately at risk, a massive evacuation began, moving 75,000 people across Afar and Oromia. But for the pastoralists, leaving their precious livestock was unthinkable. Their sole form of survival, an agonizing choice in the face of impending doom. Beneath them, the earth was literally tearing apart. An accelerated phase of tectonic extension, fueled by a persistent magma supply and new intrusions, signaled a terrifying region-wide surge of crustal stress. The very ground was destabilizing. This instability brought dual, terrifying threats. Dormant basaltic volcanoes could awaken with catastrophic force, unleashing global-scale risks. Simultaneously, the chronic rifting presented a permanent danger, tearing apart vital infrastructure and the very fabric of nations in a slow, relentless crawl. But amidst these colossal threats, a path forward emerged. Precision monitoring, deploying satellites and GPS could offer early warnings of ground deformation. Simultaneously, urgent engineering reviews of critical infrastructure, like dams and railways, became paramount, modeling tectonic stress to safeguard against disaster. But resilience also demanded innovative community solutions, developing livestock-centric evacuation protocols, with protected safe zones for herds was crucial to overcome resistance. And sustained ashfall resilience programs, providing fodder and clean water, would ensure long-term recovery, adapting to the shifting landscape. To truly secure the future, a comprehensive path forward was crucial. This meant expanding our gaze beyond active threats, establishing vast networks to monitor every dormant giant. Crucially, aid and resources also needed to be distributed justly, balancing the scales across every vulnerable region. The events of 2025 were not an end, but a stark reminder. Humanity lives precariously on the thin, volatile crust of a world in constant, powerful motion, always demanding vigilance.
Subscribe to Fun Time with Samay for fun, facts, and educational videos every week.